at some point in the last 300,000 years. Someone who shares your blood ran, not metaphorically, not in a race, not for fitness. They ran because something was behind them, something with teeth or claws or intent, something that wanted them dead. And they were fast enough or smart enough or lucky enough. And because of that one moment, that one sprint across one patch of ground in Africa or Asia or the frozen edge of Europe, you exist. Think about that for a second. Every single person alive today is descended from someone who survived, not someone who was the strongest, not someone who was the bravest, someone who made it, by whatever means necessary. The human body is not built for speed. We are not the fastest animal, we are not close. A house cat can outrun the average human. A squirrel can outrun the average human. We top out at roughly 28 kilometers per hour. For a few seconds, if we are elite athletes at peak condition, the lion chasing your ancestor could do 80. So how are we here? The answer is not what most people think. The answer is endurance. Humans are, by almost any biological measure, one of the greatest long-distance running machines evolution has ever produced. 2 million years of refinement went into the architecture of the human body for exactly this purpose. The Achilles tendon, the gluteus maximus, the large muscle in your backside that does almost nothing when you walk, but is absolutely essential when you run. The way our arms swing in opposition to our legs to keep us balanced. The nuchal ligament at the back of the skull that stops our head from flopping forward at pace. The fact that we sweat profusely all over our bodies, while almost every other animal pants and panting while running is nearly impossible. All of this, every single piece of it, is a running adaptation. Your ancestors did not outrun predators in a sprint. They outlasted them. There is a hunting technique so old it predates bows, arrows, spears, and every other weapon technology we know of. It is called persistence hunting, and it works like this. You find an animal, you chase it. Not fast, you cannot match it in a sprint, and you don't try. You just follow it. Across the heat of the day, when the sun is highest and the temperature is most brutal, you keep pace. Not catching it, just keeping it in sight, keeping it moving, not letting it rest. Animals cool themselves by panting, but they cannot pant and run at the same time. So every time the animal stops to recover, you close the distance. Every time it bolts again, you follow at a steady pace, mile after mile, hour after hour, until eventually the animal stops. Not because you caught it, because it has nothing left. Hyperthermia, exhaustion, collapse, and you walk up to it. The Sand people of the Kalahari in Botswana still do this. Researchers have documented it. A single hunter on foot pursuing a kudu, an antelope that can reach 90 kilometers per hour, across 35 kilometers of open terrain in midday heat. The kudu collapses. The hunter walks up, and something extraordinary happens in that moment that almost no other predator on Earth experiences. The hunter cries, not from joy, from something harder to name. Respect, maybe, or grief, or the weight of what just happened. Because persistence hunting requires something that pure speed does not. It requires you to read the animal, to understand it, to follow it so closely and for so long that by the end, in some way that is difficult to articulate, you know it, and then you kill it anyway. But not every ancestor ran from a predator. Some ran from other humans. The archaeological record of prehistoric violence is uncomfortable and real. Massacres, skull fractures from blunt force, arrow wounds in bone. Sites like Crow Creek in South Dakota, where the remains of nearly 500 people, men, women, children, were found in a mass grave, showing evidence of scalping, dismemberment, and mutilation. This happened. It was part of the world our ancestors navigated. And some of them ran, fled the raiding party, escaped the massacre, crossed the mountain range or the river or the stretch of open ground that separated them from safety. Not because they were cowards, because they were alive. And being alive was the only thing that mattered in that moment. There is a psychological legacy to all of this that lives in you right now. The startle response, the way your heart rate spikes before your conscious mind has registered what startled you. The way your body floods with adrenaline in a fraction of a second, faster than thought, faster than language, faster than any decision you could consciously make. That is not a malfunction. That is 300,000 years of calibration. Your nervous system was built by people who survived. The ones whose bodies hesitated, who waited a half second longer before running, are not your ancestors. They didn't make it. The ones who were already moving before they knew why, those are your people. And here's the thing that gets missed in every conversation about human anxiety, stress, and the feeling that your nervous system is somehow broken or too sensitive or overreacting. It is not overreacting. It is doing exactly what it was built to do. in a world that no longer requires it at the same frequency. But the hardware is the same hardware. The threat detection system that kept your ancestor alive on the savannah is the same system that fires when you get a difficult email, or sit in traffic, or hear your name said in a tone you don't recognize. Your body cannot tell the difference between a lion and a deadline, and that is not a flaw. That is the price of survival. You are here because someone ran, because someone's legs moved faster than their fear could catch them, because someone chose the river crossing over the open ground, because someone got up before dawn and followed an animal across 35 kilometers of heat until it had nothing left. You carry all of that in you, every heartbeat that speeds up for no reason you can name, every moment of inexplicable alertness at 3 in the morning, every time your body reacts before your mind has caught up. That is not anxiety. That is your ancestor, still running, still keeping you alive. So the next time your nervous system fires and you don't know why, don't fight it. Acknowledge it. Something in you has been doing this for 300,000 years. It knows what it's doing.